Okay, hi everyone on YouTube land and on Instagram land. We are live for a 30-minute move and meditate class. So what are we going to do? We're going to move and meditate, right? So starting now, we'll begin our process of meditation by bringing your felt attention to your body. How are you? It's noon on a Thursday, and it's a Leo full moon. Rawr, here we are. So you don't need to change anything about what you're wearing or really move anywhere in particular. We'll be standing up the whole time. So just clearing yourself a space. And to get myself framed up over here. Well, and we'll be in standing. So hopefully this is framed up. I don't know. We'll be in standing and just come to feeling your feet on whatever surface that you're on. I'm going to come on the hardwood. And make your stance a little bit wider than hip width apart. And we'll just sort of take a few big hip rolls just to start to bring our attention into this area of the body associated with earth and grounding, the hips. So this is not about doing it any particularly perfect way, but doing it. So all the things that I'll offer today are really simple, and if you remember to do them, they will help you, but they won't help you if you just know that you're supposed to be doing them and don't do them. So that's the tricky part. So a lot of what all of this that I'm doing is about is to prompt you, remind you to do it, because we have to do it for it to help. All right, enough of that. Bring your attention to breath and feel your feet on the ground. Bring them hip width apart now. And for 5 or 6 breaths, take big inhales and big exhales. It can be in and out of the nose. You can let whatever fidgets or wiggles need to happen for you to settle happen. And then bring your attention to your feet. Look down at your feet and ensure that they're, as best you can, about hip width and parallel to one another. And then lift your toes and really ground your foot. So I'll say broaden across your foot. So that means make sure that as much of the surface area of your foot is on the ground as possible. And then lengthen your foot from front to back. So this action is really doing a lot more than just activating the feet. It's turning on all sorts of support and stability in the lower body. And bring your attention to your glutes. You could even feel your glutes and ensure that they're on and engaged. So if they're not doing that from what you're activating with your feet, go ahead and actively turn them on. And go ahead and squeeze the glutes a lot. And then we can do what we would call lift the pelvic floor. So lift in and up at the muscles at the base of your pelvis. Just feel this area of the pelvis and the feet and legs, and make sure there's a soft bend in your legs. And keep taking big breath chugs. And then on an inhale, bring your arms up overhead. So something like this. And on an exhale, let your arms swing down. Just sort of let the swing happen and finish as it finishes. And then an inhale, arms up overhead, reach overhead as much as you can. Exhale, let your arms come down to your sides, swing it out. A couple more times, big arms overhead. Remembering getting arms overhead is so important. Reach, inhale, fill, and exhale. Let the arms release and shake out. And then we'll bring your hands to your neck. So notice the temperature of your hands and the temperature of your neck. For example, me right now, my hands are freezing. Just walk the dogs and my neck is super warm. So just noticing what's the circulation like in your hands. And then we'll start with a little soft tissue work in the back of the neck And with your own hands, sort of releasing as much tension as you can through the jaw and through the base of the back of the neck, and even down the neck and into the shoulders. So just check out the effects of your morning or everything that you've been up to until now on your body. Keep going with that. I'm going to adjust something. Good. Down the sides of the neck. Good. And then keep your arms on your shoulders. Lost an AirPod. Keep your arms on your shoulders, and we'll make big circles with the elbows. So elbows come together as close as you can in the front. You're still grounding down through the feet and activating the glutes, and then back and around in the back. Big movements through the shoulders. I'm going to throw my hair up. You keep doing that. Big circles with the shoulders. If standing doesn't feel comfortable, you could do majority of this in seated. If you're having pain or trouble with your feet or legs, you could do it in tall kneeling. So doing all of the same things from your knees if that feels comfortable. Same thing, glutes are on and engaged the whole time we're standing here. Good, and then switch directions with your elbows. Good. All right, and then elbows point straight out to the side. Head stays in the center of your chest. And belly button will stay pointing forward. Feet are grounded, nice and solid into the ground. And on an inhale, turn your upper torso as far as you can to the right, and then turn your head all the way to the right. And then back to center on an exhale, and inhale the other way. Good, keep going in this way with your breath, inhaling, turning, doing your best to keep belly button and hips pointing forward. So that happens, keep going from a really big grounding through that leg that you're turning away from, especially on the outside edge. Good, and next time you rotate once to each side. Good, and come to center and release the arms, shake the arms out, and take a few circles with just the shoulder socket. Good. All right, and then start making those circles with the shoulder into a spiral, and see if you can stabilize your shoulder socket in the center. So really making a focused effort to not allow the shoulders to hang down and forward, but activate through the upper back and shoulders to slightly engage the upper back and turn the palms forward. Broaden through the palms and the hands, just like we did the feet. And come to stillness here. Notice your breath, notice your heart rate. Notice the sensations of the body, any pain anywhere. How's your breath flowing through your torso? So as you bring breath in and down, how much movement through your torso can you feel? How much movement of your diaphragm can you feel? Keeping the glutes on and the knees softly bent. Good. We'll bring a few more details into our posture, continuing to broaden through the foot and ground. We'll keep a soft bend in the knees. Glutes are on, and as you activate the glutes, there's a small action like you're lifting your front hip bones to create a neutral lumbar. And then take your next inhale and exhale out of the mouth and stack your rib cage right on top of your hip bone. So if there's a tendency for your ribs to protrude forward, that activation of the upper transverse stacks the torso. Upper back is engaged, just like we did when we came into this pose. And then last, certainly not least, movement of the chin towards the center of the throat, extension up through the back of the crown of the head to ramp the head and stack your joints and stack your bones. And feel if all these activations are over-efforted in any way, and on your next exhale, soften or inquire into softening where is possible. Feel your presence, and holding the eyes still on a single point of focus, keep them open. So holding them on a single point, it can be at the screen or just above the screen to still be able to see me, but not have your eyes focused directly on the screen. Give them a break too. And then open up your periphery vision to see all that you can see in your vision at once. Still grounding through the feet and holding all those activations as you stand and breathe in and down into the torso, inhaling, fill, exhaling, inquiring into softening any over-efforting that's happening in your actual physical body. Find a smooth, steady rhythm of breath in and down. Nothing overcomplicated, just an easeful breath. And then on your next inhale, bring your arms up and out to the side, rotating them as they come up and overhead. I'm going to come down to tall kneeling so you can see the action of my arms. Inhaling, arms broaden and lengthen, and then come up overhead, palms face each other. And as you exhale, they come back down. Continue moving in this way. Feeling the rotation at the shoulder and doing your best to move through the back range of motion with the shoulder that you can without releasing the rib cage and letting the whole front body open. Keep that closed. And if you need to, move your shoulders further forward to allow for your spine to stay stabilized. Do so. So you're looking to move through the pain-free and possibly noise-free range of motion in the shoulder. So if that means stopping here, stopping there, finding where your particular edge is in this range of motion. Notice if the eyes have begun to move about, and still the eyes again. Inhaling, arms move up. Exhaling, arms move down. Good. Next time your arms come down, step your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, shake out the arms, and we'll do just a little twist. So twisting the upper spine and letting your head turn away from the direction that your torso is twisting. Good. And then on your next twist, just release your effort and let your arms and your twist come to stillness. Step your feet back underneath your hips and bring your left hand to your low belly and your right hand to your chest. And we'll see if you can feel that on your inhale, the lower hand fills, and then breath moves into the upper hand. We'll take 10 breaths like this. I'll offer a specific count. If your breath is longer than this, go ahead and honor the length and the rhythm of your own breath, but we'll count for a 3-second inhale and a 4-second exhale as a way to really ground your attention in this steady count, in this particular rhythm. So inhale and exhale to prepare. Inhale into the lower hand for a count of 1, 2, 3. Smooth transition. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Maintain that rhythm and bring your attention to your feet and lean forward on your feet and lean back on your feet, keeping your torso fairly aligned as you do, and just feel how the weight shifts back and forth on your feet, what happens in your feet and legs, and see if you can keep taking those little tilts until you feel really centered over your arches, and that the knees are right over the ankles and the hips are right over that. So there's this grounded centeredness on your foot. And maintain that action and that alignment at the foot. And oftentimes there's a need to shift your weight towards your heels, this sort of forward leaning action and this gripping with the front of the body and the toes. As you shift back, just notice any shifts that happen mentally. Continuing to breathe at that rhythm, 3 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Good. Bring attention to your feet and hands and broaden and lengthen as we have before in class. And continue with this rhythm of breath. And on your next exhale, allow your chin to come towards your chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. And on your next inhale, bring the head up and back as far as feels comfortably possible without pain. So moving just inside of end range in rhythm with your steady, smooth breath. 3 seconds in, breath fills from low to high as you look up. Continue to broaden through the hands and feet. And 4 seconds out as you look towards your feet, noticing if your body has shifted or weight has shifted forward again. And keep remembering to center over your arches with your grounded feet. Good. Next time you look down on an exhale, allow your head to hang there, and you can release the effort through the arms and let the arms hang as well. And then even let the fronts of the shoulders hang, but keep the back body in the glutes engaged. So we're going to rotate this sort of whole area of the neck, chest, and shoulders. It can help to bring your hands to your chest to really feel that this area under your hands is getting some movement. So head and shoulders will move to the right and then up and back, doing your best to keep the upper abdomen engaged and then get some extension through the back, and then back and down and forward. So from the front, up and back, and down and around. So as much movement as you can through this whole area above your solar plexus, and as much stability as you can find through the lower body below your solar plexus. Inhaling up and back and around, exhaling around and back down. Keeping centered over your arches. Good, and back down. Switching directions. Movement and the breath are united, which is also uniting the mind and the body. So bringing your attention to the present moment is what these work breaks are all about. So although your mind and attention may wander, just without judgment, return to presence. A good way is to remember feet. Next time your head is looking down, look down at your feet and feel your feet and really press the elbows down towards the floor and lengthen the tops of the shoulders as your head looks down towards the floor. And from this position, you can see your feet and you can see your torso. See if you can notice breath filling low to high, just as we did when our hands were in this position. But see if you can feel more breath move at the side body and the back body. So less movement in the area in front of your body where your hands are, and more movement all in the back through the underarms and in the upper back and shoulders is moved by breath. And as you continue to stand and breathe from low to high in the upper back and shoulders, as you exhale, inquire into softening the back of the head and the neck and letting the chin come towards the chest a little further. Keep breathing, filling on the inhale, emptying and softening into the weight of your body through your feet and the tops of the shoulders lengthening because you're pressing the elbows gently down. And then next time that you exhale and release the head, release the arms down. And on an inhale, bring your head up to a level, stacking the head on top of your shoulders and continuing to breathe in and down into the belly. We'll release through the legs a little bit. So from the side, holding all of this in place, we'll shift your weight to the left foot, balancing on your stable left foot, and pulling your knee towards your chest as best as you can as you inhale, and as you exhale with as much control as possible, setting it back down. Let's continue side to side, shifting your weight, feeling a really steady, balanced foot, and pulling the knee in towards the chest, alternating side to side. And now here, as best as you can, keep the torso fairly still. So not arching down into the foot, but stabilizing and holding everything the same. Oh my God. That was terrible. But onward. Okay, so back and forth, side to side. You can grab the front of your knee or the back side of your thigh. So what you're really looking to see is that there's no shifting out of the hip, no dropping out of the hip. You're using all of the standing leg hip muscles to keep the knee, hip, and ankle as aligned as possible. So if it means only pulling your knee up to here, that's perfectly fine. Or if it means just testing your balance side to side, focusing on your foot and the balance on your foot. So finding your level, maybe your jeans are restricting you a little bit, that's all right. Just go to whatever level you can and mostly focus on that stability of the standing leg. Okay, and next time you're even on both sides, set the feet down, bring your feet wide, and rotate side to side. Oh, the time just flies. And look away from the direction that you're turning. So if you haven't noticed the theme, we're trying to get as much movement through the head, neck, and shoulders as we can, because that's where we tend to stiffen up and overstabilize to compensate for lots of seated hours. Okay, we'll get a little bit of a challenge here with a few flows in and out of chair pose. So an important aspect is that your feet are grounded and all of those points that I've mentioned until now are still in place. And the first action of the hips is back. So more important than how far you go down is the alignment of your spine. So not allowing the head and shoulders to release forward as you bend your knees. So just experiment a few times. You can hold your hands on your hips to feel that the first action is back. And you can hold a hand at the low ribs if you know you have a tendency to overarch through the back. So find a nice steady bend of the knee and flow in and out of chair. If that feels good and you don't have any shoulder pain or injury, you can add the arms moving with that to the edge of your range of motion and then back off. So let that complete chair come little by little. So as best you can, moving back in space with the hips and arms coming up. And the hands are broadened and the arms are lengthened in two directions, soft bend in the elbow And as you come to standing, soft bend in the knee. Inhaling into the pose and exhaling out. Feeling equal weight distributed side to side through the feet and legs. So notice if you have a tendency to shift your weight and have more weight or effort in one side than the other. Okay, your challenge here today, midday, come down into your chair pose, broaden through your hands, broaden through your feet. Feel the glutes engage and breathe in and down, belly into upper back and shoulders. If you feel fatigued, rather than coming out all the way, just come out a little bit to maintain some of the challenge, build a little heat. And then on an exhale, coming all the way out, stepping your feet wide and releasing side to side. Oh, okay, good. So that concludes our moving portion. We'll move into our focused meditation. We've been doing aspects of meditation this whole time to bring our attention present into our movement. So it's really a moving meditation. So you can do this in standing. You can have both hands on your chest, a hand on your belly and your chest to really be aware of the breath. You could do this in kneeling. You could do this lying down, or you could do this in a comfortable seated position. I'm going to choose the last one. So if you've been seated a lot at work, you might try doing this in standing. So settling into whichever meditation position you choose and feeling your foundation. So either your feet or your whole body lying or your sit bones grounded. And then after feeling your foundation, bring your attention to your sense of smell. And take a few deep inhales and exhales, feeling low to high with an awareness on your sense of smell. Feel the activity of the inhale as it fills the torso and the passivity of the exhale as you inquire into softening your actual physical structure. And then we'll bring your attention to your mouth and take a particular position with your mouth. Tongue flat and broad on the roof of the mouth, teeth slightly parted, lips touching. And bring a focus to your sense of taste. And taste the flavor of your mouth. And then bring awareness to your eyes and your sense of seeing. If your eyes are open or closed, still your eyes. So hold your eyes focused on a single point, whether that's behind the eyelids or open just above or below the screen. And continue to fill in and down with breath. So this containment of the senses to direct them inward towards yourself. So through stilling your eyes, we gain insight. So feeling how the breath is moving through your torso, feeling the pace of breath, the rhythm. And seeing if you can feel more breath moving in the sides and the back of the body than in the front, filling from low to high. Notice if you're in standing or seated, if you have this tendency to lean forward into the future where you're not doing this, and return to a centered position over your feet or over your sit bones, where this is the only thing. This breath in and down at a steady rhythm, mouth contained, eyes contained, and awareness on your sense of smell. And bring awareness to temperature, noticing if you're cold, or maybe if there's differences in temperature in different areas of the body, say the feet from the hands, from the neck, Just take this in as information and address need as it arises. So as you take this time to check in, how's your water intake, your hydration? How do you feel? How's your circulation? And then bring an awareness to your sense of hearing, to hear my voice and your breath and any other sounds in your environment. And then any sounds that you can be aware of from your body. Ensuring that your head and neck are aligned by taking that action of the chin towards the center of the throat, extension up through the back of the crown. This is a position that we've got to really train in and remember and remember and remember again and again. So feel yourself and your spine centered. Okay, so a brief moment of presence. If you have a little bit more time, you could continue to sit in presence with an awareness on your senses as we directed through that brief meditation. You can find the recording of this at this link, or if you'd like to join my therapeutic living circle, you can find that at all the links that I'm always sharing. And I would love to practice with you. We'll be doing more and more of these live practices as a way to really remind to return to yourself and come to presence at least one time a day. Okay, thank you all so much out there in the world. Thank you. And another practice coming up on Sunday live, so I hope you can join.